All right, good morning, everyone. Again, this is Teacher Vin, and today we'll be discussing a new topic titled Watching Full Length Plays and Writing Play Synopsis. So, first, let us discuss what are the objectives or what are the questions that we should be able to answer by the end of the discussion. So, first is what is a full length play? What are the elements of a full length play? What are synopses? How to write a synopsis? And what are some examples of a full length play synopsis? So first, what are full-length plays? So full-length plays includes several acts, each containing a number of scenes. So unlike what you previously discussed with Teacher Tere, um, one act play is like one act. So from the name, one act lang yun siya. Unlike full length plays, it's divided into separate acts. Usually there are three, and then each act are divided into multiple scenes. So here, an act is a section of the overall story. For example, a three-act structure will usually include a setup, a confrontation, and a resolution. A scene is a part of an act usually defined by the characters and setting involved. Dividing a play up like this makes it possible to tell longer, more complicated stories. Next is what are the elements of a full length play? So these are actually just the same elements of what a one act play is, but there are just a few uh, details that are quite different from what a one act play is. Okay, so in terms of themes in a full length play, so themes should be able, or a theme should be able to answer the question of what is the play about. So it can either be good versus evil, redemption, love, death. What else? There's actually a lot of themes out there. Um, the sky is the limit, actually. So basically, a theme is the main idea or the underlying meaning of the play. Again, it answers the question, what is the play about? Next, next element is the plot. So plot again is a sequence of events that make up a story. So unlike one act play, in full length plays, there are more room for significant events to take place and more room for subplots to happen. Since again, when you say full length plays, it actually runs for an hour or even 2 hours or more, depending on the complexity of the story. So unlike one act plays, they run usually from a minute to an hour maximum, or sometimes it's really rare for a one act play to really run for like an hour long. Usually when it's already an hour long, it already is considered a full length play. Again, depending on the complexity or how the story ran. Okay, next is we have the characters. So characters have ample of time to develop throughout the entire play in a full length play because again, they have a lot of time to develop. So unlike one act play, majority of the times their characters already are well developed and that they're already focused on the conflict and the resolution of that conflict. So unlike in full length play, they can start with developing the characters, or they can start developing the characters. Sometimes an act would really just be one act would sometimes be focused on just developing the character before resolving the conflict. Okay. Next element is we have the dialogue. So dialogue is the exchange of spoken words between two or more characters in a book, play, or other written work. Now, unlike one act plays, majority of their dialogues are really well thought of. Well, in a full length play, it's also well thought of. It's just that in full length play, the writers or the authors or the directors of the play have a lot of room in terms of creativity, in terms of experimenting with the characters, and they have a lot of time. They have a lot of rooms to fill in terms of like the dialogue. So they can be creative. They can also be experimental in terms of like the dialogue that they want their characters to say. Okay, so again, those are the elements of a full length play. So next, what are synopsis? And again, this is just a quick recap of what you previously discussed with teacher Tere already. So synopsis again is a summary of a composition like a book, movie, play, TV show, or academic paper. It includes information about the story's main events and the style, along with information about the characters. It may provide a more or less detail depending on the purpose of the synopsis. So basically, it's really just a summary of the entire story or the entire play. Um, when you write a synopsis, there's no need for you to be wordy, to use flowery words or whatnot. You need to be concise and direct. Okay, because it's the first thing that audience read and when they for example when they are looking for movies or when they are looking for plays, what they do or what catches their attention is your synopsis. So your if your synopsis is really long, there's a great tendency for your audience not to read your synopsis. So make your synopsis really short and concise, and make sure it's direct to the point. Everything should already be included there. All of the main events should be included there, including the characters and whatnot. But we'll discuss that later on. So right now is we'll be discussing of as to how you can write a synopsis. So again, this was already discussed by teacher Tere, and we're just doing a recap of that discussion. Okay. So first part is of course the planning part, which is outlining your synopsis. So first, number one rule as well: start the synopsis after you have finished the play. So after watching the play, you need to immediately grab a paper, grab a pen, and write your outline of the story. And this is really important because when you write your synopsis like a day after or a week after the worst, you will find it really difficult to recall or to remember important details on the play, and it may impact the cohesiveness of the story. So again, write your synopsis or at least the outline of your synopsis right after the play or right after watching the play. Next is make a list of your main characters. Make sure each of your characters is well rounded and capable of change. Additionally, each character should impact the story in a significant way. So the key word here is impact. So, of course, when a play has like 1,000 characters, there's no need for you to write all of those characters in your synopsis. And that will no longer be called a synopsis, okay? If you write all of them in your synopsis. So what you can do is you need to select the main characters or the characters that made a huge impact of the play or the story. So you'd be able to, if you really paid attention on the play, you should be able to identify which characters made the greatest impact in the story. Okay. Next is sketch out the major plot points in the play and identify what is unique about the play. Next is part two. So once you've already outlined or planned what you will be writing on your synopsis, what you can do is you can draft your synopsis. So first rule in drafting the synopsis is you need to write in third person. So when I say third person, you should use pronouns like he, she, it, his, her, its, him, her, it, himself, herself, itself, they, them, their, and themselves. And you cannot use other pronouns apart from those, okay? Next is to introduce your main characters and conflict at the beginning. This is really important because this is what would catch your audience interest or attention in terms of like the entire play. So again, if your synopses are really wordy or beating around the bush, you would really not catch your readers or your audience's attention. So it's really important that you include the main characters and the conflict in the story at the beginning of your synopsis. Okay? And again, it's also important to summarize the main events of the plot and end with resolution of the play. Next is once you've already first is we've already planned out everything. So once everything is already planned out, we need to draft our synopsis. So after drafting that, the last part is to edit your synopsis. Make sure to proofread everything. Carefully read through your work to eliminate any typos, misspellings, grammatical mistakes, or missing words. And this is what you do before publishing your synopsis. Okay, you need to make sure everything is already perfect in terms of like typos, misspellings, grammatical mistakes, or missing words. So proofread once, twice, thrice, four times, five times, whatever, as long as you make sure that everything is already perfect. Okay? And right now, we're already on the part wherein I show you some examples of the synopsis. So I have here one from Romeo and Juliet, which is William Shakespeare's masterpiece. So let me just read through the synopsis, and as you can, you will notice that a few things that we've discussed before are already in this specific synopsis. So first, an age-old vendetta between two powerful families erupts into bloodshed. A group of masked Montagues risk further conflict by gate-crashing a Capulet party. A young lovesick Romeo Montague falls instantly in love with Juliet Capulet, who is due to marry her father's choice, the county Paris. With the help of Juliet's nurse, With the help of Juliet's nurse, the women arranged for the couple to marry the next day, but Romeo's attempt to halt a street fight leads to the death of Juliet's own cousin, Tybalt, for which Romeo is banished. In a desperate attempt to be reunited with Romeo, Juliet follows the friar's plot and fakes her own death. The message fails to reach Romeo, and believing Juliet dead, he takes his life in her tomb. Juliet wakes to find Romeo's corpse beside her and kills herself. The grieving family agree to end their feud. So if you have already watched the play of Romeo and Juliet, or you've already read the Romeo and Juliet story, you would know that every important parts of the story is already in this synopsis. It's short, it's concise, and it's direct to the point. And again, the plot of the story, the conflict, the main characters in the story are written at the beginning of the synopsis, and there is the resolution at the end of the synopsis. Okay, and those are again the important parts of a synopsis. Next is I have another example from The Little Prince from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. So this is one of my favorite short stories that I've read. And I'm not a wide reader, but once I read something, I really remember what the plot of the story is. And this one I really find particularly interesting. So again, this is one of my favorites, The Little Prince, and let me read through the synopsis. So, based on the story of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the magical musical fable begins as a pilot makes a forced landing on the barren Sahara Desert. He is befriended by a little prince from the planet asteroid B612. In the days that follow, the pilot learns that the small boy's history and planet hopping journeys, in which he met a king, a businessman, an historian, and a general. It isn't until he comes to Earth that the little prince learns the secrets of the importance of life from a fox, a snake, and a pilot. So again, it's a short synopsis. The main characters of the story are already written at the beginning of the synopsis, and the resolution of the story is written at the end. And that basically concludes our discussion for today. So let's just do a quick recap of what we did in today's discussion. First is we discussed what is the background or what is full length play. What is a full length play? And then second is what are the elements of a full length play? What are synopses? How to write a synopsis and examples of a full length play synopsis. So thank you so much for joining our session for today. Here's what I want you to do after watching the video. I want you guys to visit our Google Classroom and answer the exit ticket. After answering the exit ticket, you need to wait for the exercise password to be sent via email. And again, that ends our discussion for today. Thank you so much for joining. Again, this is Teacher Vin, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.